Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to all of y'all. I guess by virtue of you being out here, you recovered from your Thanksgiving. And I guess you've survived Cyber Monday as well. Happy Cyber Monday to all of y'all. And before going further, we'll talk about Cyber Monday. But before going further, a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all the reality fans out there. And you guys that are watching live, and those of you who watch a little bit later on replay as well. Love all of y'all as well. Thank you for spending another Monday evening with me. Episode number 104. It's not really a round numbering thing, right? But 104, that means 2 years worth of episodes. 52 weeks a year. Yeah. So 2 years worth of shows I've been doing. And some of y'all been along with me for that entire ride. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of y'all. I have so much fun doing this. You know what? It takes an hour out of my time Monday night, get to hang out with all of y'all and talk a little reality TV and then tell all my stories. My family thanks you because I get to tell y'all the stories instead of just repeating them over and over to the family instead. So welcome to all of y'all. Let me take a quick look out here before we start talking about said stories. Brian Osterler. Brian, how are you doing? I think Cleveland Browns won this weekend, didn't they? Marilyn Sutherland, Jake the Horror Movie Geek, Keith Franken, Cindy Hire. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Michelle Moore, Kiki, Andy W. I can't believe it's Monday already either. Amanda Lowe, Mark Taylor, Chaz, and I think I've got all of y'all. Welcome to all of y'all. As I said, it's Cyber Monday. I was busy at work. I still, as soon as I get done with this show, I guess I need to go out and see what kind of fancy deals are out there, ready to go. I got so spoiled during the COVID years. Is that how we're going to talk about it on down to the COVID years? But I remember Christmas of 2020. We're all locked down. We're trying to be nice and behave and all that. I ordered everything for Christmas. Everything was ordered online. I got really spoiled. That's a great way to do it. It's been a while since I've been in the shopping mall as a result. So I bought a few things over the weekend. Again, I didn't really have time to do it today, but that's all right. I'll get around to it. So tell me what kind of big deals y'all got on y'all Cyber Monday or Black Friday, either one. Man, I remember Black Friday back when I was younger, and it was a thing. I remember camping out all night long to buy, I don't know, TVs and Furbies and all kinds of things. It was such a thing back then to do. Nowadays, everything is so easy to buy online. It's kind of gone away. But I remember a few deals here or there, picking up some. I remember the first digital camera I ever bought. I can't tell you when it was, probably the late 90s or something. And I was so impressed with that camera. And yet the pictures it took are so horrible, so basic compared to what we've got in every one of our cell phones and everything else. It's amazing that technology has changed so much. Kiki saying, now the Matrix. Yeah, Cyber Monday. The sci-fi world, you get sucked in and everything. But, it's all about the online stuff now, right? They're talking about Meta. Is there going to be a day where we just have our virtual headsets on and we're at our own version of a shopping mall and there'll be 200 people, well, probably be more like 2,000 or 20,000 or something, lined up for the cyber store to open up, and we'll all go trying to squeeze in, get in the waiting list, and purchase our goods ahead of everyone else. Kind of like Taylor Swift tickets. Did y'all get Taylor Swift? No, I didn't either. Actually, I did not try for Taylor Swift. Maybe I should have now, knowing what a big deal it was. But I do have a family member, one of my brothers, who got in line, did the preferred thing, sat there forever, all day long. He's waiting in line to get it. And he actually got tickets for a daughter who's in high school. And she is very happy that her dad came through with some Taylor Swift tickets. So, yeah, I guess that was the big Black Friday. It wasn't Black Friday, but y'all know what I mean. The thing that everyone was fighting for this particular holiday season. I saw her in concert when she played at the rodeo. It's been a few years back, but she puts on a heck of a concert. I gotta say, I like a lot of Taylor Swift songs, a lot of it, Love Story and all those. But once I saw her in concert, I'm kind of a Swiftie myself. So yeah, I've already seen her, so I guess I'll let some other people see her this time. So no Taylor Swift for me, other than her album and all that. Uh, I'll tell y'all what I was waiting on for not Taylor Swift tickets. Here's what I was trying to purchase. The hard to get item was actually from Denny's. Yeah, Denny's, the restaurant, the one that you go to and all that. Did y'all know they had a deal that went on sale Friday night? I guess it's Thursday night at midnight, Friday morning, as we went from Thursday to Friday, as we started Black Friday. Denny's had a special where you could buy a shirt for $5.99 that had a special QR code on it. And if you bought one of these shirts, it allows you to go to Denny's for the entire next year. And every single day, you get one Grand Slam pancake sausage egg breakfast for free for an entire year. And it only costs $5.99. Now, the catch, you can only, but there are only 150 of them for sale, right? So everyone's trying to get the shirt. I was ready to go 5 minutes before they go on sale. I'm hitting refresh over and over again. As soon as they go on sale, I immediately see that there's a size small. Yeah, me in a size small, doesn't matter. Figure out if it means free food, I'll wear it anyway. So I hit small, add to cart. I'm amazed it actually takes it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it. I'm going to be eating like a king. Then the little message flashes up, says you're in line to check out. Due to high demand, it's going to take longer than expected times. Your wait time to check out is 330 minutes, which was that work out to 5.5 hours. And this is at midnight. So I thought, all right, well, I'm going to be up all night long. But hey, to get me a free Denny's meal type thing, I'll do it. I'll go for it. So I sat there. I waited for about 5 minutes, getting all excited that I'm going to have this special shirt that only 150 people, 149 people, and myself have. And then all of a sudden the message flashes up, says, we regret to inform you that your item is no longer available, is sold out. Sorry. Do you want to buy a keychain or something instead? Yeah, no, I didn't want that. So yeah, like all the people buying Taylor Swift that weren't successful, I too was unsuccessful in my Black Friday venture. I didn't get my Denny's shirt, which probably is not the worst thing in the world. That's for health and everything else, it's probably just as well. That's is it Garth Brooks that does the song thank God for unanswered prayers? Well, maybe that's one of them. Maybe it's just as well that I didn't get free pancakes and sausage for an entire year. That would have that would have been a lot of sausage. But anyway, so there you go. I know y'all don't care. I'm the only one that cared about the Denny shirts. Apparently there were at least 149 other people that cared about it because I didn't get one, but that's all right. It's just one of those kind of nights. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. I hope y'all had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I'll tell you a little bit as well. Let's talk about some of y'all stuff as well. Wyatt Garrett saying, how was your Thanksgiving? I'll tell you about how my Thanksgiving. And Chad saying, was there a story from this Thanksgiving that you'll remember 10 years from now? Well, the sentimental side of me will throw out the story that we had my entire family together. We had my wife, my son, my daughter, my new daughter-in-law, my new son-in-law. We went up, we saw my mom, all my brothers were there and their families. It's been a while, it seems like, since we had the entire family all together, all at once, under one roof. Kids, grandkids, all that. A lot of folks up there visiting my mom, but it worked out fantastic. Now, one of the things that we did, because everyone's so busy with Thanksgiving and seeing in-laws and all that, we just said, nah, we're not even going to mess with it. Go off, do whatever you want on Thanksgiving. We're going to celebrate our Thanksgiving on Saturday. So everyone came over to my mom's house on Saturday, and everyone brought food, and we had all the fixes. We had turkey and dressing, and very good dressing. I told you a story last week about the one time I had dressing, not so good. This was fantastic dressing. And of course, we had macaroni and cheese. It wouldn't be Thanksgiving without. And honey baked ham. I did all right. We're still eating on the leftovers. There was a lot of food, and I contributed as well. You know, I was in the Big Brother house. I didn't do a lot of fancy cooking, although I did show Nick how to fix macaroni and cheese. But I wasn't necessarily the chef of the house. I'm perfectly fine with hot dogs and bologna sandwiches and things like that. But I did contribute to the Thanksgiving meal. What I brought was, the really complicated peanut butter balls. Y'all ever heard of peanut butter balls? So I had neither, but I've got a cousin who's on or a nephew who's on a wrestling team for his high school. And as part of a fundraiser, he was selling a recipe for high energy peanut butter balls. And so I donated a little money and I got the recipe as a result. And I said, all right, well, if I bought the recipe, I'm going to make the food. Basically, it was nothing more than honey, oatmeal, peanut butter. Imagine that, and chocolate chips. Mix it all together, roll it up into little balls about the size of a little meatball or something. Freeze it up overnight so it gets nice and sticky and consistent. It doesn't fall apart on you. High energy, nice little snacks. Everyone loved them. Well, almost everyone. Everyone loved them, except for a couple of my nieces who I may have taken those peanut butter balls and mixed them in with their donut holes on Sunday morning after Thanksgiving. And yeah, they were a little. If you're expecting a donut hole and you bite into a big old peanut butter ball instead, surprises the taste buds just a little bit. So yeah, they maybe didn't appreciate the peanut butter balls as much as everyone else, but hey, it was good. And so yeah, other people brought macaroni and ham and cranberry dressing up. I brought the peanut butter balls, but it was a hit. It worked out pretty well. So yeah, is that my story for that I'll remember 10 years from now? Maybe. Maybe so. Like I said, mainly it's just having the whole family together. The other thing that we did that was kind of funny, and this I will remember 10 years from now, is football. At least here in the States, football is such a part of Thanksgiving. I'm a Houston Texans fan, but I grew up in Dallas Fort Worth. The rest of my family are very obviously Cowboys fans. So there were certainly some football game watching on Thursday and Friday and Saturday. But what was really funny was that this year they also had the World Cup. So we had a big division in our family between those who don't care about soccer and wanted to watch the football games and those who were very invested in a couple of the World Cup games and wanted to watch that instead. Normally World Cup's in the summertime. You don't worry about it. This is probably the only time that I'll be watching a World Cup while I'm eating my Thanksgiving dinner. But I was good. For those of you who don't know, talking about World Cup, the United States in a tense battle, tied England 0-0. Some soccer games are more exciting than others, and 0-0 doesn't sound fantastic, but it was good news for us because it means that all we have to do is beat Iran tomorrow afternoon, playing a game, and if we win, then we advance to the next round and elimination rounds and all that. So USA. I'll leave it at that because I know a lot of y'all don't care as much about soccer, but USA did fantastic. Canada, not so much. I thought they were looking good yesterday, and then they kind of fell apart afterwards, and I think they're pretty much done. But USA hopefully moves forward. We'll see tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. We'll find out. Keith Franken saying, this weekend, my high school played in state football finals. We lost. So, Keith, congratulations. Yeah, I mean, not everyone can win. Lord, high school football is so big down here in Texas. I know it is in other locations as well. Congratulations on making it to the finals. I can't say my high school ever did that. I played in one championship game when I was in 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade. The Duff Mustangs was my team playing the Crow Cowboys. Isn't it amazing how you remember these things? But we played them in the championship game. We got beat 15-7. I even remember the score. That's incredible. Yeah, that's the closest I ever came to a championship. My Aggies certainly aren't going to any kind of championship this year. So yeah, but y'all made it to the finals. That's pretty impressive. That's amazing. Friday Night Lights in Texas is real. Have y'all the book? And then they came out with the movie, the TV series. People, it's amazing. I had a few weeks ago where in fact, we met my son. Speaking of, I have no guest host this week. My dog sitting days are over, at least for now. My son's dog, Oakley, stayed with us for a couple of weeks, but Oakley headed back home. I enjoyed a little Thanksgiving dinner, maybe a little bit more Thanksgiving dinner than we intended, because she was very good at finding all the scraps as people intentionally or unintentionally dropped them on the floor. I think it's a little bit of both. But backtracking that, when we went over and we picked up Oakley from my son, we met them a little spot because they don't live in Houston. We met them in a little small town Friday night. The town was completely empty because they were playing in the playoffs in another city. High school playoffs were going on. There was no one. We walked into a restaurant. We're the only ones there because this whole town just shut down. And we're just happy the restaurant was up. Whole town shut down to go to the playoffs. So yeah, it's a big deal here in the state of Texas. We're sitting there. There is one other couple that's sitting there eating with us, and right in the middle of dinner, all of a sudden this guy just goes, starts yelling and hollering and jumping. And I thought, well, he's either someone fired a shot somewhere or he's having a little bit of a fit or something else. No, it turns out he had a headphone plugged in, and was listening to the high school game in his ear. And the team that was from this city we were at had just kicked the game-winning field goal. And this guy, he's probably 70 or something. He looks like that little guy from those old Six Flags commercials, little bald-headed guy with the glasses. Da, 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 da. He looked like that, and he got full of energy when the high school team won their game. So yeah, we were laughing about that. He apologized to us. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shock y'all. And no, we get it. Well, we're Texans. We get it completely. So congratulations. So yeah, the state finals. That's good, Keith. Congratulations on that. Mark Taylor, what do you think of Sammy's game in Survivor? Man, I tell you what, Survivor. And then Chad saying, how do you like Survivor this week with Jesse making that big move? Pretty ruthless too. I gotta say, I'm really liking this season. I'm liking the players. Yes, Jesse made I guess if you don't want to hear spoilers, you probably need to shut down because I'll mention it because I got to. Jesse made a big move. Sammy, I'm still worried. There's people that worry me. I think Sammy's potentially going to get caught up. We even heard, I thought maybe he'd save some relationship with Carla, and Carla just seems like she's not trusting him at all. So that worries me a little bit. And then we heard Cody and Jesse. Jesse played great, but Cody and Jesse, we're hearing people saying, oh, they're so tight. They're running the show. Gabler, you think Gabler's in with someone, and the next thing you know, he's kind of talking behind their backs, which you got to be careful about because you do that. Sometimes it gets back to people. But yeah, I think there's a lot of players who are playing fantastic games, but they're really riding that edge as well. You know, you make the big moves, which is huge from a resume builder standpoint. And it makes for a huge argument that you make to the jury if you make it to the end. But every time you do something like that, it just makes that target on your back a little bit bigger. Look at the person who went home last week. And again, if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, plug your ears for at least the next 10 seconds. So, Noelle, I was so proud of her. I was so excited watching just the determination when she played. Was it the reward? She won the reward challenge, and no one expected of it. And if she hadn't won, no one would have blamed her one bit. You know, just trying was such a big deal. And she won that freaking thing. One of the best competitions I've ever watched, just in terms of watching someone and just wanting them to do well. And she did it, and she won. It was such a great first half episode for her. Everything's looking fantastic. And then all of a sudden, people all get worried and say, you know, hey, I don't want to sit next to her in a final two. Man, she's got to get every single vote if she makes it to the final two. And next thing you know, just because of the threat to the jury, she's out the door. So yeah, some of the people who are playing the best games, that may not, is that good? Yeah, it is. If you can make it to the end. I kind of put Jesse in that position as long. And what I like that Jesse's doing, he's kind of to some degree, he's under the radar. Now, we heard people talk about him, Cody, but I feel like he's a little more subtle in some of the moves he's made so far. And he doesn't have as big a target as I would expect at this point in time. And he still has 2 immunity idols. I keep waiting for Cody to ask for it back, but so far had to happen. Man, at this point in time, I think if I'm Jesse, I'm just going to say, yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought I gave it to you. It must be back of that other camp or something. I don't know, Cody. We're in trouble at this point. But yeah, I think Jesse's playing a great game. But you got to be careful getting those targets on your back. I know in the Big Brother house, that was, I know there's a lot of talk about, oh, Tommy versus Holly. Why did you keep Holly over Tommy? And people go back and forth on that. Tommy, one of the big detriments for him, and one of the reasons that he got sent home the week he did during that season, was because Nicole and I were so worried about him at a jury point. Yeah, you got to make it there. But we were trying to think ahead, and he had just gotten through telling us that he and Christy knew each other, that they, had their little connection and all of that. And so at that point in time, we're sitting there thinking, well, man, Christy is back talking to all the jury members, selling Tommy every step of the way. She's going to get at least a few votes swung his direction, most likely. We figured if Tommy made it, Christy'd probably be able to get Jessica to vote for Tommy and maybe one or two others. And even beyond that, we knew that everyone liked Tommy in that house so much. He was kind of he was the one that kept trying to pull groups together and forming alliances and all that. He was very much a unifier versus a divisor type strategy type person, which I kind of tried to do. But Tommy was he had a lot of folks in that house that we thought really liked Tommy a lot if he ever made it to the final two. So we're sitting there thinking, man, if we keep Tommy, we've got this huge social threat at a final two. And then Mickey, we can't get rid of, and he's such a huge competition threat. Between the two of them, we got to get rid of one of them at this point in time, which isn't to say that Holly maybe wasn't a little bit of a social threat as well. But we just thought that Tommy had a whole lot of votes wrapped up if he ever made it to that final two. And he was athletic enough that we thought he could potentially make it as well. But yeah, you play too well in these games and you start creating more of a target on yourself. And next thing you know, you're too good to stick around. So yeah, it's very much a double-edged sword when you play any of these reality shows. But again, getting back, the long answer is, or the short answer is, I'm really liking Survivor. I'm really liking these contestants. I'm a little disappointed, not a little heartbroken. We've got Hearts of Reality coming up, not this week, but next week. And there's going to be some previous survivors there. Marianne's going to be there from last season, a few others. And and there you go. Brian saying, who are you excited to see at Hearts of Reality? Yeah, we'll talk about that. There's going to be some survivor contestants from like last season. Marianne's going to be there. Jonathan's going to be a few people. Mike's going to be there from last season. So that's going to be cool. But because the current Survivor is still going on, I don't think they're allowed to come to fundraisers or anything like that until the season wraps. So I'm not going to get a chance to shoot the bull with Gabler and some of those folks. But next year I'll do it. As far as who I'm excited to see, though, at Hearts of Reality, and I'm so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, Nicole Anthony from my season. Nicole's going to be there. I'm looking forward to seeing her and her new fiance, I guess, at this point in time, right? I'm very excited to see Nicole because it's been a while since I've seen her. David Alexander is going to be there as well from our season. I get to talk to him about the challenge and all that. Sam, I think, will be there from my season as well. So I'm excited to see my family from BB21. But outside my particular season, man, there's a lot. I'm excited to see Marianne because she just was so much fun in Survivor last season. Johnny Bananas is going to be there. I've the legend. I want to talk to that guy and see if who we see on TV is who he is in real person. I'm looking forward to seeing him. We've got some old school Survivor folks that are going to be there that I'm excited about. And Johnny Bananas, for those of you who don't know from the challenge, which I watch a lot of as well, and he's competing this season. But some of the old school people I'm really excited to see. Jerry Matheny from Survivor Australia, Tina Wesson from Survivor Australia. They've done some all-stars and things like that as well. But Tina and Jerry are going to be there. Boston Rob's going to be there. It's going to be fun. Tell y'all who else that I'm really looking forward to seeing from the Big Brother world is a couple of people. Daniel Reyes is going to be there from season 2 or 3. Brendan and Jordan, Rachel and Brendan are going to be. Rachel and Brendan are going to be there from Big Brother. And I guess they did Amazing Race too, right? Actually won Amazing Race. So they're going to be there. So I'm looking forward to meeting them. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Rachel because I've talked to her a few times since I did the show, but I kind of gave her a hard time at one point talking before the show saying, and I'm not a real big fan of the people that are too emotional playing a game of Big Brother. So like Rachel Riley, she cried and she whined too much. And As soon as I got out of the house, I talked. First time I met Rachel, I said, "Oh, I get it now. I absolutely get it. I didn't know what it was like in there, and sorry, I kind of threw you under the bus." She's now we're good, but yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting her, talking a little bit. It's gonna be fun. And there's a few others. There's some reality shows that I really think that I'm probably the only person who's ever watched. There's one called Pirate Masters. Does anyone remember that? It was a Mark Burnett show that didn't even last the whole season. They canceled it halfway, but there's a girl named Kendra who was on that show. And I talked to her a little bit last time, and she's going to be there again. It's fun to talk to her just because she was exposed to or involved with a show that didn't really it was a little different than anything else anyone else had done. So she's got stories that other people don't have. There's another contestant. I can't remember her name. I should, but she was on a show called Spy Master or Spy Games, I think, where you had to act like a CIA agent and sneak into houses, and I mean, all set up, not just any random house, but yeah, you had to see if you could be a spy, trained to be a spy, and she's got to be there. And again, I may be the only. I'm going to come up to her and say, "Hey, I know exactly who you are." I may be the only person, but I'm looking forward to hearing some of her stories as well. Brian's saying post pictures. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I posted a few last year. Part of it, I was so excited seeing all these people and everything. I probably should have taken a few more pictures, but I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to post as many as I can. I don't know. I may even do a little Instagram live or something while I'm out there. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. It's going to be fun. We get to hang out with each other on one night and just visit with people we've met before, and a lot of people maybe that I haven't met before. We do that one night, and then the other night we go over to the Give Kids a World Village, and we actually meet a lot of the kids and their families that are there, and that's what we're there for, right? That's it kind of hits home, what this organization does when you meet all the kids and stuff. So it's always it pulls at the heartstrings a little bit, but I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, I will post pictures, and when I get back, I will tell y'all all kinds of stories and let you know who's completely different than the way they portray it on the show, and the ones who are exactly as you would expect them to be. I gotta say, for the most part, everyone that was in this thing, so incredibly friendly, and maybe the ones that aren't friendly just don't come to things like this. But there's people like Sandra from Survivor, the sweetest person I've ever met. I thought, man, she's won 2 different seasons of Survivor. She's what, $2 million right then and there. She's got to have the biggest ego on up. Nah, she is so friendly. I had a blast. She and myself and Sarah rode to the airport at the end of the thing. Sarah Lucina, and yeah, just the nicest people. So it is a lot of fun during that event. And yeah, I'll have all kinds of stories for y'all. Hopefully good stories. We'll see. This will be the second year I do it. Last year, I didn't take any pictures because I was just walking around with my jaw dragging on the ground because I was so impressed to see all these people. Hopefully this year, I'll walk in there and say, yeah, I remember last year. Now, not as big a deal. Yeah, it's still a big deal. So I'll take pictures. All right. Cindy Hire saying, next year I will be there. Well, come on, Cindy. I look forward to it. And bring your dog as well. And yeah, that would be so much fun. Speaking of, if any of y'all are here, and I know I've put up a fundraiser before, and certainly if you want to donate, you certainly still can. But if you're actually going to the event itself and coming to the meet and greets or anything else, let me know. If you're watching live or if you're watching on replay, send me a DM and let me know, because I would love to meet in person as many of y'all as I can. That'd actually be very, very cool. So yeah, if you're in Orlando and you want to come over and say, hey, I'm all for it. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, Cindy, I am looking forward to it. That's going to be an absolute blast. All right, Cindy's also saying Claire and Derek are still in the Amazing Race. I know they're looking pretty good, aren't they? They were working. Who was the other team they were working at? I can't remember the name of the other team, but they were working with the other team last week. I guess sometimes the Amazing Race, where they have these little, you can do one or the other. Sometimes I always think that I always would pick the things that don't involve dancing or fashion or things like that. I'm the logical guy. I'm the engineer. So in this particular challenge, if I recall, they either had to dress a flamenco dancer, dress exactly the same calypso. It's not a calypso. It's what maybe it is. The same shawl, everything had to be exactly the same, which would be incredibly frustrating for me. But the other option was to build using bricks, build an arch with a keyway in the middle and all that. I would have done that in a heartbeat because that's just the way my mind processes it. I had too much fun with Lego sets and erector sets and Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys as a kid. That would have been right up my alley. I loved building things as a kid, so I would have picked that. But Claire and Derek didn't. They did the other one, and they actually did very well because they were working this other team. And yeah, they're looking strong. I can't remember if they're going to be at Hearts Reality or not, but yeah, I'm cheering for them. We lost Tommy and Sis from the challenge, but I still got Claire and Derek on the Amazing Race to cheer on, so they're looking good. But having said that, we did lose last week, and again, if you haven't watched this, more spoilers. Plug up the ears for them. Michael and Marcus, they were one of my absolute favorites this season. I was cheering for them, the military brothers. Man, I knew they were behind. It was a hard haul to try to catch back up, and they just couldn't do it. They had the picture frame challenge from the week ahead of time for this mega leg, and they just were behind the whole way. But yeah, they're gone. But man, I'm glad they had a chance to play as long as they did and all that. And speaking of, before we move on from Amazing Race, for those of you who watched it, and for those of you who didn't, I guess they had a challenge where they had to walk across a pretty high canyon, I guess, pretty high drop off on a tightrope. Now they had things holding them up. They're not going to actually let them fall, but they had to walk across this thing to get to the far side and pick the flag of Andalusia to get the right clue and all that. Claire's really good at a lot of things. Walking across high places is not what she's very good at. She was panicking. She had a bit of a meltdown, that whole thing. It's funny. Everyone has their little Achilles heel, I guess, when they do these competitions and everything. And they had to know that. I'm sure the producer said, oh, well, here's someone that's scared of heights. Let's make sure we have a height challenge here, because it really got to her. But she did well. I mean, she didn't let it get to her too much. I'm scared of heights, but I'm only scared of heights when it's unsecure. Like if I'm on the side of a building on a roof looking out, that panics me. But inside of an airplane, if I got stuff attached to me, I used to do rappel. I don't know. I guess that's a way I deal with my fears. I kind of just face it and see if I can get over it. So I've always been scared of heights. So in college, I joined the cave club and I did a lot of rappelling down the sides of buildings and all of that. And that never bothered me too much. As long as I knew that rope was nice and thick and tied on really, really tight. I tested it a lot before I went over the side. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I love rappelling down a lot more than using ascenders to go back up on a rope. But I did both of them. Yeah, you look at me now and you don't think that I'm the kind of guy that would fit through a cave, and probably not so much as when I was in college and skinny like a beanpole. But yeah, it was. We used to have fun with that. I'll tell y'all. What time are we? I can tell y'all a story too. When I first joined and it wasn't the cave club. I guess it was. They call it the Speleological Club, which is just a fancy name for cave club. But one of the things they did, sometimes the caves that you go into, it's not just a nice little walk-in cave like you see Mammoth Cave and Carlsbad Caverns and all that. Sometimes it's just a hole in the ground and you have to drop down into that hole. And so because of that, one of the first things we did before we were allowed to go in caves with the club is we had to go out they had a big fireman school at Texas A&M where they teach firemen from all over the state, the nation, I think, how to be the best possible firemen they are. Well, part of that involved giant towers, and they teach firemen how to rappel down the towers. How often does a fireman rappel down a tower? Maybe not as much as you would think with the way they train, but whatever. But yeah, we would go to the fireman's tower. I think probably it's more just practice running up and down a whole lot of stairs. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, we went and we learned how to rappel off the fireman's tower. So I had a little skill set I picked up. Hey, if they ever put me on the Amazing Race, I know how to rappel. So if I'm on a team with Kat or Nicole or so on, I'm volunteering for the rappelling side of the journeys. But yeah, so we had rappelling. Now I didn't rappel that often in caves, once or twice, and not more than 20, 30 feet, something like that. Some caves that some people go to, 150 foot, 15, 20 foot, 20-story building that they drop off to before they get to the bottom of the cave structure and everything. Again, it's not going down that much. It's the idea that when you're ready to come back up and you're exhausted, now you got to climb back up that rope 15 to 20 stories or so. That's the part that I'm not as keen. Repelling's pretty easy. You just kind of let go and let friction do the work. Going up, not so much. So we've got that. We what else? I've done a few different rappelling here and there. It's been fun. All right. So what else? Ma just said I made it. Well, welcome, Ma. We've been waiting for you. Welcome aboard. All right. What else do we have? Colby Mead, Celtics fan. Do you watch any sports? Oh, Colby, I watch way too many sports. If it's on TV, I watch sports. Now, my big ones, I mean, I love pro sports, but yeah, I'm in Houston. So the Rockets, Texans, Astros, World Series champions, Houston Astros. But I'm actually a little bit more into the college sports. I love some college baseball. Obviously, I'm in Texas, so college football and high school football, I'm huge on. Basketball, I like it. I'm just so bad at it. I played football growing up. I played baseball growing up. I was never so good at basketball. So I watch it, but purely as a fan and all. I just don't understand the intricacies and the strategies as much as I do the other sports. But I watch anything. I watch rugby when it's on TV. I watch World Cup. I watch Netflix sports. I watch the cheese rolling competition where they chase cheese down a hill. If it's a sport, I probably am going to find. I'll sit there and watch cricket and some of those things as well. So yeah, I love all kinds of sports. So yeah, I watch a lot of it. Spent a lot of time on ESPN. Mark saying, "Congrats on your Aggies' great victory." Yes, sir, indeed. On Saturday. Help my Michigan to be rated number 2. Will the U.S. beat Iran tomorrow in the World Cup? All right, 2 different topics. Now, first of all, for those of you who don't know, and how would you not know? But yes, I am a huge fan of Texas A&M. I went to Texas A&M. I'm a huge fan of the football team, and we had a horrible year. We aren't even going to bowl game. We did so bad. So now suddenly we're playing LSU, who is ranked. What were they? Number 5, number 4? I don't remember. They're ranked a lot higher than Texas A&M. And kind of has become our big rivalry game since we don't play the University of Texas anymore. That's getting ready to change. But for now, we've got a long history at the LSU. They were going to demolish us. I think the spread was 10, 11 points. And I really didn't expect it to even be close. And we turned around and we beat LSU. And that's got to just kill those people over in Louisiana that, yeah, as bad as our season was, we still beat LSU. So for any Cajun fans out there, LSU Tiger fans, sorry about that. No, I'm not really sorry. We needed all the help we could get, but yeah, it was a fun game. We had as I said, we did our Thanksgiving on Saturday. We ate our big Thanksgiving dinner. Then we had. I know some of y'all have played it. Maybe not everyone's familiar with it. There's a game called Ticket to Ride, which is kind of a strategy game. You try to build railroads across the United States. We had a huge Ticket to Ride tournament with everyone in our family competing, multiple games. The winners of each one then competed in the grand game and all of that. I won. But did Ticket to Ride every age, anywhere from 9 or 10 years old on up to as high as we go in our family. Playing Ticket to Ride. It's a fun game if you haven't tried it before, but we played Ticket to Ride. But as we started getting closer to 6, which was when LSU and Texas A&M started the football game, suddenly we had a lot of the older folks that were saying, let me get my game in right now because I'm going to have to bow out otherwise. So we quickly squeezed in a few games and then got to watch that college football game in the evening. And it was a lot of fun. I had very few Saturdays this season where I actually got to celebrate at the end of it. They only won 5 games, but is what it says. Yeah, they won. And congratulations to Michigan for beating Ohio. Not just beating, walloping Ohio State. It wasn't even close, man. They put a beating on Ohio State. They were playing at Ohio State's home stadium. So yeah, Michigan deserves to be in those college playoffs. So good luck on that. And now, as you mentioned, Iran and the USA play tomorrow. Oh, for all kinds of reasons. I grew up. When was the hostage crisis in 76? So no, it's more 79. So I was 14 years old when the Iranians took all our hostages. So I want them to win for purely sports reasons in the World Cup, Soccer World Cup. They're playing each other. The winner goes forward, the loser goes home. And so from a purely sports standpoint, I want the United States to win so they can advance. But from a purely political, me holding a grudge for everything that's happened since 1979, I want us to just beat them like a drum just because of the petty side of old Boss Hog. So yeah, I'm gonna be cheered. I'll be sitting there yelling USA the whole time, and if we lose, it's gonna be unfortunate. If we win, I'm gonna be all right. It's gonna be fun. I hate that the game, it's like 1:00 or so I'm getting up extra early in the morning so I can get because I've got a real job that I got to work around. So I'm gonna do all my work early in the morning. I've got all my meetings scheduled over lunch and after the game and all that, and set aside a little bit of block so I can watch the game. And I'm ready for it. It's like a Super Bowl or something. It's that kind of excitement as I get ready for that game. It's gonna be cool. Ma saying was at a Christmas parade. Well, cool. Haven't missed the show yet and don't intend to now. Well, thank you, Ma. I appreciate your dedication. Now I know you're in the band, so did you play in the Christmas parade, or were you one of the elves running alongside Santa, or watch it or whatever? That's cool. We have a Thanksgiving parade here in Houston. We did not go to it this year. It's been raining so much. I'm a little amazed that they even had the parade. But we had just enough of a break in the rain that they were able to have it and watch that parade. But yeah, congrats. I guess it's Christmas season, right? We've got Christmas parades. We've got Mariah Carey giving bad lip syncs in parades. Did y'all hear about that? The Macy's parade. I guess she that's where it wasn't, but maybe half an hour after Thanksgiving was over, Friday 12:30 or so, while I'm waiting on my Denny's deal to come through. And here comes on the radio, Mariah Carey singing her Christmas song. Between now and Christmas Day, I'll hear it another 1,000 times at least, right? I like the song. I really, as much as I hear it, I ought to be really tired of it by now, but I still kind of get happy every time I hear it. So I'm a big Mariah Carey fan, but apparently the Macy's Day Parade, she may need to work on her lip syncing just a little bit, because I understand that she didn't really maybe carry the energy that you would expect on a platform like Macy's downtown New York and all of that. But yeah, whatever. I'm not too worried about her. She's got enough money. She can take a break every once in a while. Brian Hoster saying, I would have really enjoyed being your friend in college. You're a hoot. We had fun in college. All right, here's a little thing I'll tell you. Maybe I'll mine some stuff from it later. My mom, who holds on to everything, especially having to do with her kids and all that, she had in a file cabinet a big old binder that someone had put together of life in the dorm that I was in at Texas A&M. And my brother Robert was in that dorm as well. And we were very much, I know you aren't going to believe it, but for those of you who watched Animal House about the fraternity and all that, that was our dorm. Every bit. I know you don't believe it, but we did so much stuff that would get someone thrown out of school so quickly nowadays. Not mean stuff, just dumb stuff. Yeah, just pranks and things like that. That's where I honed my craft, I guess. But anyway, so all this stuff happened in the dorm. Well, someone a few years later got a hold of all the people and started trying to gather up all these stories. And it was all on a forum that's been gone forever, I'm sure. Well, my mom saved it, printed it all out. And so we started reading through a few of those and reminiscing on a few stories here and there. So she's going to print it out, copies for everyone, and I'll get a hold of that. There's a few stories I can tell y'all. There's a few stories I can't tell you, but we just did crazy stuff in that dorm. We'd have road warrior competitions where everyone would get in a shopping cart and we'd push each other around a big open area, and everyone had brooms and mops and things of baby powder trying to throw in each other to slow them down. And whoever could race around this little area the fastest 4 routes around would win the competition. And we had a lot of fun until 2 carts crashed together and one person lost a finger, which wasn't so much fun. Now, the amazing thing is the guy who lost a finger was so invested in this race. He didn't tell us what had happened until the race was over. We say, well, why didn't you tell us? We would have found you. Well, because then we would have lost. We were ahead at the time. So after the race was over, they said, guys, can y'all come help me? I kind of lost part of my finger. I was, geez, okay. So yeah, we went, they put it back on. So it was a happy ending in the end. But yeah, we did a lot of crazy stuff in there. So yes, now here's the thing. Talk about me being a hoot in college and all that. I was the instigator to some degree. I'm not the one who actually did this stuff. It's a little bit like the Big Brother house. I wasn't the one necessarily doing everything. I was the one in the background just kind of whispering, hey, what if you did this? Or have you ever thought about this? And I would just kind of make suggestions to other people who would run with it. And then I'd sit back and watch the chaos and the fireworks take off. And then I just would enjoy the show without actually getting a lot of blood on my hands. I think I tried to do that sometimes in the Big Brother house, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so much. But yeah, I learned it all in college. It was that was a crazy best 8 years of my life. Nah, I was in and out 4 years. It's probably just as well. I was a petroleum engineer. I didn't have as much time to do everything that everyone else did. They had in this dorm. Sometimes guys shave their heads, right? You know, they shave a mohawk in their head or something else. In our dorm, they got everyone who was willing to do it and shave different letters in every single person's head so that they could all lean down, point their heads together, and spell beat the hell out of TU, which is our term for University of Texas, or build the hell out of bonfire, which we have the big bonfire for that game. So what is that? 20 something guys, which is kind of, I mean, it makes for a great picture. I'll post that picture one of these days. And it's kind of a cool thing to do, unless you're the guy that's got like the E shaved into his head or the R. So it's not really a mohawk. It's just a funky little hairstyle that these guys have. I was an engineer. I was applying for jobs after I graduated. So I said, yeah, I think I like my hair just the way it is. So I avoided that. But there are a lot of guys with, maybe a round or two too many on a Friday night got talked into shaving their heads. There were several girlfriends, as I recall, not so happy when they saw their boyfriends with a big old. Now, the guy who had an X shaved in his head, that was kind of cool. The guy who had the ampersand, I guess that's what you call it, between A and M. His looked like a dog with mange. Yeah, I remember that guy. His girlfriend, if I recall, said we ain't girlfriend and boyfriend anymore until the hair grows back in. So, some people have to be really dedicated when they do things with this. All right, I've got a bunch of stories. We'll start telling those sometimes. I think the statute of limitations has run out, so I can tell a few here and there. Some of them I'm going to my grave with. All right, Mark Taylor saying, where in Orlando is Hearts of Reality, and was on and was on triple pro, and was on triple probation and had the dorm person and the head dorm person had my mother on speed dial. Okay, yeah, we had a few of those. I may have been on probation for one semester for partaking of some activities. Really just laughing at some people getting in trouble for some other things. But we actually had our entire dorm got put on probation 1 year. That didn't work. The following year, they kicked the entire dorm out of the dorm and turned it into a freshman dorm only. And everyone came back and corrupted all the freshmen. So they turned it into a girls only dorm the next year. All the guys came back and told all the girls all the fun we'd had and how crazy that dorm was. And the girls played along and had their own activities and pranks and everything until eventually the president of the university had to come and have a special talk to the dorm to explain how we have I don't remember what it was, but how maybe you don't want to do what those old idiot guys used to do when they were in this dorm. So for those of you who don't, the name of the dorm was Davis Gary, and DG damn good bust ass Davis Gary was the little thing we'd yell over and over again just to irritate people. I'll tell y'all more stories. We'll move on from there because I could talk for hours and hours. Trust me. Mark's saying, where in Orlando is the Hearts of Reality? It's we do a couple things. It's the I think the hotel is the Malia, which is in Orlando, but I don't know anything about it. The main thing that takes place is at the Give Kids the World Village. And to get there, you have to have the tickets for the meet and greet and all of that. So if you go out to the Give Kids a World website, you can then find about the specific Hearts of Reality event and tickets, and they got different packages and things like that. But yeah, it's cool. And the way they do it is, I know on that one day, they'll bring in all the Survivor people, and they'll all sit around tables, and everyone can come in and go to who they want to and say hi and get things signed and all of that. And they'll do all that. Then they'll chase the Survivor people out of the room, and they'll bring in all the Big Brother people, and we'll do the same thing. And then they also have WWE folks there. So for those of you who are big into the wrestling and all that, there's a lot of WWE folks. They are huge helping out this charity, which is really cool. And I've met a few of them. They're kind of impressive looking people. Man, especially some of those women wrestlers. God, they kick my rear end. You just that you got to be in good shape to do some of that stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. When I did it last year, we had almost the entire Big Brother 21 cast there. There were a few people missing, but we had the majority of folks there. Not so much this year. People doing different things. So that, as I mentioned, there's only going to be 3 or 4 of us there, but I'm still looking forward to saying hi. I guess we're old school now, because now we got season 23 and season 24. They're both going to be there. So they're the newer ones. Season 24, I know there's a lot of them that are going to be there, which is gonna be a lot of fun. I think Joseph's going to be there. I'm not sure Taylor Hale, if she said she's coming or not, but if Joseph's going to be there, Taylor's going to be there, right? I would expect so, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. All 16. Oh, Jasmine's going to be there. I'm going to have fun talking to Jasmine, and I might bring her a muffin or something, just as a peace giving or something. I have fun talking game with all of them, and just like everyone else, as I mentioned, it's fun finding out who is exactly like you see on TV, and who was maybe playing a little bit more of a persona, and it's a little different when you actually talk to them in person. What's Jasmine going to be like? I have a feeling she's a little bit like we saw there on the Big Brother show, but no, we'll find out. It's going to be fun. And yes, I will post a few pictures here and there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, Mark saying I'd go tick for tack on any story you have in your dorm stories. All right, Mark, it sounds like a challenge to me. So not tonight, because we got a couple of minutes, but we may have to roll with that and see what we can do. That would actually be a lot of fun. Make sure my mom's not watching that particular episode, and we'll all be make sure my kids aren't watching on that particular episode. I've got a niece and nephew who are getting ready to go to college right now and looking at different schools and all that. I may need to hold off on some of these stories until after they've gotten out of school, because otherwise I'm going to get the blame for corrupting them. They're going to try to replicate one of these things I did and get in all kinds of trouble, and then I'll be the bad uncle. So I may have to be careful on that. Ma, cover your ears, because I know you're heading that way as well. The stories I'll tell are not suggestions. They're not recommendations. They're from another age, and you get so much trouble nowadays. What we did back then, because I graduated in '87, what we did back then, a lot of it, people just kind of, don't do that again. Don't be a goofball and do that again. Nowadays, they don't mess with that stuff. They would call it hazing. They would call it just being an idiot. That's really what it gets down to. Just being a complete idiot that doesn't have the sense that God gave you sometimes, or use the sense that God gave you. But we had fun, and I survived. Some a little worse for the wear, but yeah. So don't do as I say now, not do as what I did back then. And there's some kind of saying mixed in with that, right? But yeah, I'll tell you all a few stories, and people like Ma who are getting ready to go to college, cover your ears or ignore and recognize that we all have to do dumb things in life in order to learn and do better things as you get further in life. All right, we'll just leave it at that. Amanda's saying, what Big Brother player would you like to meet that you haven't already? Yeah, there's a few of them. Hearts of Reality, I mentioned some of those. Who would I just really like to meet? I met Donnie and I met Kevin Schlover. Those were two that I really liked. I'll tell you who I would love to meet. Two that I think would be kind of fun to meet. One is Johnny Mack, the dentist. He's not really big into the reality, meet and greets and all that nowadays. He's back being a dentist, I think. I think he'd be kind of fun to meet. The one that I would really like to meet is former Big Brother is probably Eric Stein. You remember Eric? He was in season 8. He got kind of a raw deal because he was America's favorite player, so he had to do things. He had to do what America wanted him to do, which always didn't always help his game. But that guy's hilarious. I think he was fantastic. And then Jerry. All right, Ma's saying Jerry from Big Brother 10. Here's the thing, Ma. Jerry lives not too far from me. He's from the Houston area. And I would so love to go up and just sit down and visit with him a little bit. But, you know, he's a little advanced in age, even more so than me. And he has really backed off from doing anything with Big Brother whatsoever. And I don't know that he would really appreciate some youngin' like myself going up there and talking Big Brother with him. But I love Jerry. Jerry was one of my inspirations. I sat there. Now, Jerry was in the Marines a lot. So I remember sitting there thinking man, if he can do it, I can do it. He did it well. He came in 3rd place. He advanced just a little more than I did. Of course, he didn't have as many people during his season, and his season wasn't as long as mine. That's the excuse I'm throwing out there. But yeah, I'd love to meet Jerry. I don't know that will happen because he's not really involved. All right, now y'all gotta help me because I feel like a complete idiot. I don't remember her name. Who's the girl that was part of the not part of the brigade, but she was that season. She had the best diary room session. She'd always like, oh, kill me now and everything. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Blonde hair. She's just sarcastic wit and everything else. It's gonna kill me that I don't know. Tell me, and or if not, I'll bring it up next week because she's one of my favorites. God, that's horrible. I feel so bad. It's because I'm thinking of all the people on me at Hearts. Brittany. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Oh my gosh, that would have driven me crazy. I would have been sitting there on the computer afterwards. Brittany Haynes. Oh my gosh, I would love to meet her because she was just such a fun one to watch during her season. And I hated that she didn't make it to the end because I felt like she deserved it. But yeah, thank you, Amanda. Oh, I'm so grateful you came up with that name. Yeah, I'd love to meet Brittany as well because I've loved watching her in the game. All right, guys. With that being said, it is a little after 8. I started a little late, but I know it's time to shut down. So y'all I'm glad y'all all recovered for Thanksgiving. Y'all have a fantastic rest of the week. Man, by the time we meet next week, it's going to be December. At Christmas time, it's been such a quick year. So y'all have a fantastic week. Until then, SKD143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out there. Y'all have a great week. I will be back. I'm going to drop an episode on the challenge and Survivor Wednesday and Thursday, so be watching for that. But until next Monday and another Cliff Notes Live, y'all have a great one. Cheers, my friends. Bye.